got to get your wife fired up about me next time.
She was. Only me.
I just asked Joe what the secret was to get his wife fired up about me down the road. Good morning, Essex County. What a treat to be here. My home away from home. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for all your, let's hear it for Chairman Leroy Jones. What an extraordinary ballot we have in Essex County. You don't get this very often. Altrick, you're going to be a great surrogate, my man. God bless you. Good luck to you. Tashami, where'd you go? Are you still out there? You're going to do the Freeholder Board proud. God bless you. Brittany, where are you? You're already an outstanding member of the Assembly. And by the way, in particular, leading the fight for $15 an hour minimum wage. Many thanks for that. Let's make that the best holiday gift we ever got in this state. And then, of course, Armando Fontoura, who keeps us safe, who's one of the best public safety officials in the entire state. Armando, God bless you, buddy. Armando just took off a coat or a sweater. He told me his shirt is next. And I wish New Jersey ran like Essex County. Phil Elijah, I'll do that. Phil Elijah, I want to thank you for having us, Phil, and organizing this today. And it starts with the boss, the county executive, the one, the only. He's on the ballot. Let's get him reelected. Joe D. Vincenzo. Joe, love you, buddy. Whether it's Mayor Baraka, Mayor Stevens, Mayor Green, rather, Mayor Voss, who I saw outside, Mayor Vic DeLuca's here. You've got also extraordinary leadership at the community level in this county. As Essex goes in so many respects, so goes the great state of New Jersey. So we got 3 days to go, and we got a choice that's as black and white as I've ever seen. Either we vote for Bob Menendez and Donald Payne and Mikey Sherrill and Albio Ceres and Tom Malinowski and the Essex team, or we vote for Donald Trump. It's that clear. It's as simple as that. And by the way, one of the points we have to make to all of our friends, family, colleagues, congregants, fellow workers, is staying home is a vote for Trump. Staying home is a vote for Trump. That's not a neutral act. I know that if we get to the polls and we get everybody in our networks to the polls, we're going to get Bob Menendez reelected. I'm confident of that. The key is getting him to the polls. We can't let folks sit this out. This is a pass-fail test. Bob Menendez, where would we be without him? He fights for our values. He fights for us day in and day out. As he said a few moments ago, we were together, he doesn't start those fights, but he sure as hell ends them on our behalf and on our interests. I don't know where we would be without Senator Menendez. Now listen, we have an incredibly special gift in New Jersey. We have individually two of the best United States senators anywhere in the United States. But then when you look at the combination of their talents, we get a 1 + 1 = 3 result for New Jersey that no other state in the nation can claim. So alongside, serving proudly alongside Senator Menendez, the one, the singular, the only, everybody get it up for Senator Cory Booker, Essex County's own. How are you, buddy?
How's everybody doing? So we all know what's going on right now in our country. We have been witnessing it for 2 years. The moral vandalism on our very core values. We have seen what's been going on in our country. Banning Muslims, splitting up families, attacking the health care of our seniors, of our disabled. At a time when our nation faces challenges like the opioid crisis, challenges like stagnant wages for 60 years. We've seen the answer of the Republican Party has been what? To try to take away our health care, to give tax breaks to the wealthiest, and how are they paying for them? By raising New Jersey's taxes. We've seen them attack working families. We've seen what the last 2 years have given us, and worst of all, we've seen a rise of hate. We've seen an attacks on women, on Jews, on blacks, on gays. This is not who we are. We are America. And so, about right or wrong. And so, in our history, we have never been defined by what happens to us. Bad things have happened in America. There's been injustice in the past. There have been demagogues in the past. There's been girls in a church being bombed. Factory workers burned at the Shirtwaist factory fire. But the story of America has never been what's happened to us. It's been how we've responded. We face many defeats, but we are never defeated. We get knocked down, but we never get knocked out. We have allowed our outrage to get us out working. We have allowed our anger to turn us into activists. And so now is that point. This is that election. On the ballot right now are our family members. On the ballot right now are our neighbors. On the ballot right now is our health care and our public schools. On the ballot right now is our Social Security and retirement security. On the ballot right now are our young people still struggling against massive debt to get a college education. On the ballot right now is equal work, equal pay for equal work. On the ballot right now is workers' rights. On the ballot right now is voting rights. And so when they come for us, when they come after our values, when they come after our rights, when they come after the idea of America, we only have one choice. It's time to stand up. And I want to ask everybody here, on the ballot right now is also Bob Menendez. And I got to tell you right now, Maya Angelou said it right. They may write me down in history with their bitter, twisted lies. They may trod me in the very dirt, but still like dust. Will y'all rise up? Will you rise up for Bob Menendez? Will you rise up for voting rights? Will you rise up for Social Security? Will you rise up for Medicare and Medicaid? Will you rise up for America? Will you rise and vote for Bob Menendez? Vote the whole Democratic ticket. Let's take this nation forward. Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you my partner in Washington, my mentor in the Senate, New Jersey Senior Senator, Bob Menendez.
Good morning, Essex. Are you ready for a great victory? SEIU, are you ready for a great victory? GW, are you ready for a great victory? All right, now let me thank all of you who have come together, given up a Saturday in your lives to change your lives. I want to thank our Essex County Chairman, who does such a fantastic job on bringing us all together in common cause. He's one of the greatest Democratic chairmen the state has. Leroy Jones. Thank you, Leroy. I appreciate our governor, who it's great that when you elect somebody, they actually do what they say they were going to do. And Governor Murphy's done exactly that. I normally get to go first as the senior senator. And really, I've cherished that more than ever before, because having to speak after Cory Booker is so damn tough. But you just heard from somebody who could be the next president of the United States of America. I have seen his intellect, his fight, his commitment, his willing to bring people together in common cause, but at the same time, as he did in the Senate Judiciary Committee, stand up for principle alone if he had to. And he did a fantastic job in those hearings on Kavanaugh. Thank you, Cory, for your advocacy, for your friendship. I get to travel the 21 counties of this great state, and we got a lot of great people out there. But if you live in Essex County, you couldn't have anyone who fights harder for the families of Essex County and puts Essex first all of the time than Joe DiVincenzo. I'm so proud of his work. He's going to get reelected, and I'm proud of his friendship. And Sheriff Fontoura, the greatest sheriff in all of the land that keeps us all safe here in Exeter. He's going to get elected. Altrich's going to be a fantastic surrogate, which is a judge at critical times in our families' moments, difficult times. You're going to be a fantastic surrogate, and we look forward to working with you and helping families in New Jersey. To the mayors who are here, who are extraordinary, and to everyone else. Look, this election, every election in our democracy is important, but this election has never mattered more. And after 44 years of public service, I can tell you I've seen some pretty consequential elections. But this election has never mattered more. Why? We have a president who seeks to divide us by who we are, where we came from, what we look like, the color of our skin, or who we love. A president who, instead of being the uniter-in-chief, is the ultimate divider-in-chief, who turns us against, or seeks to turn us against each other, as if the neighbor is the ultimate challenge in our lives, as that the person next to us who looks different than us is the reason that we should be feared. That's not the nation that we are. It is not the United States of America. And so everything that we have fought for in educational opportunity, in civil rights, in voting rights, in reproductive rights, everything that we fought for to make an economy that works for all and not just for some at the top, all of that and so much more is under attack by this administration. And this Trump administration has a direct attack on us in New Jersey. You know, I'm proud that I'm one of the authors of the Affordable Care Act. It bought 1 million New Jerseyans health care, 3.8 million New Jerseyans who can't be discriminated against. Women cannot be discriminated against and charged twice as much, and so much more. That law is under attack by this administration that is seeking to declare it unconstitutional. For those million New Jerseyans, for those 3.8 million who have a pre-existing condition and no longer can be discriminated against, this is a matter of life and death. For our homeowners in our state, you know, this administration took $2 trillion, not million with an M, not billion with a B, $2 trillion of our collective money, and gave tax breaks to the wealthiest 1/10%, the largest corporations in the nation, who didn't hire more workers, who didn't increase the wages of their employees, who didn't increase their benefits. No, they rose the price of their stock, which ultimately helped the stock owners, but didn't help America. And at the same time that they were taking $2 trillion of our collective money, what did they do to us? They took a hit on us directly by limiting our state and local property tax deduction. That's 1.8 million New Jersey families who are going to get an $8,000 hit. They're coming after us. This administration is back at trying to drill off the coastline of New Jersey for oil and gas. We will never allow them to screw our Jersey shore. We love it as a birthright of every New Jerseyan to be able to have a clean shore. This administration is appointing people to the Supreme Court that rolls back the clock to a time and place none of us want to beat, in voting rights, in civil rights, in reproductive rights. All of this is at stake. My opponent is a greedy drug company CEO who ultimately didn't have a stroke of genius, he had a stroke of greed. He drove the price of one drug in his company, a cancer drug that keeps people alive. It is a life and death drug for those who have it. He drove it by over 200% increase. Last year, before he left the company, he raised it again, not once, not twice, but 3 times, and left with $100 million. At the same time that he was driving up the cost of drugs in the United States, he was lowering it in Russia for 50%, same drug. This is a guy who was sued by the federal government and 22 states for Medicare fraud, Medicaid fraud, VA health system fraud. You think that he would honor his fellow veterans. We honor those who wear the uniform, but you don't do it when you defraud the VA health system. And he settled for $280 million. Now, I don't know about you, but you don't settle for $280 million unless you did a lot of wrong at the end of the day. He gave hundreds of thousands of dollars to Donald Trump to elect him. And when women were fighting to just join the Princeton eating clubs, which was about networking and empowerment, he fought them as a student. Then when the Supreme Court of New Jersey said, no, that's unconstitutional, you can't do that, as an adult who was married and had children, he then litigated the cause through federal courts all the way to the Supreme Court of the United States, where he failed. And when he failed, he said that the woman who was trying to create equality of opportunity so that she could join the Princeton eating clubs and network with people who are going to be extraordinary leaders in our country, he called her a politically correct fascist. This is a guy who said that gay students at Princeton would never get through his eating club. This is not a different type of Republican. He is a typical type of Republican.
Amen.
So, the one thing he's done is he's made a fortune, several $100 million, and he's put $36 million of his own money on television in the most salacious, dirty, false ads that I have ever seen in 40 years of public service. New York Times called it a lie. Washington Post, 4 Pinocchios. USA Today, a lie. Star Ledger, a lie. And so much more. So we have to ultimately meet his lies with the truth.
Yes.
The truth is we cannot have another Trump Republican voting with this agenda to take a hit on New Jersey. The truth is that we cannot go backwards. The truth is that there's no check and balance on this administration right now. They have the House of Representatives. They have the United States Senate. The only way to stop Trump from the worst things that he has done and will do is to change the Congress. That's why we're going to elect Mikey Sherrill to the United States House of Representatives. That's why we're going to have Tom Malinowski join the United States House of Representatives. That's why we're going to return my colleagues Donald Payne and Alvy Osiris to the United States Congress. But that will only happen. That will only happen with you.
Yes.
What does morning in America look like on November 7th? We will answer that question. So I don't know about you, but when I want to move forward, I put my car into D for Democrat and I drive into the future. If I want to go backwards, I put it into R for Republican and I go backwards. We don't want to go backwards. We want to move forward. 3 days. 3 days to stop Trump. 3 days to have a check and balance. 3 days to take our country back. 3 days, Essex, let's make it happen. Let's hear from Bob Menendez.